In this edition of RPP News, dangerous driving on our roads, controversy for a long-serving MP, and we're going for gold in Dramana. Hello, I'm Catie Sharp. Welcome to the latest edition of RPP News, bringing you stories from across Frankston and the Mornington Peninsula. Police have called Operation Hammerhead a success after state highway patrols and the Air Wing targeted drivers in the southeast between the 14th and 18th of July. Police say that during the four-day operation, they detected 12 motorists drink driving, 128 speeding drivers, 25 of whom lost their licences, 8 drug drivers, and impounded 16 vehicles. The alleged highest speed detected was 242 kilometres per hour. As the road toll rises, police are warning motorists to not become complacent now that we're all back behind the wheel. According to multiple news outlets, exiting Hastings MP Neil Burgess is facing allegations of inappropriate behaviour towards Parliament staff in incidents dating from last November. This was also the month that Mr Burgess announced he would not be recontesting his seat at the upcoming state elections. Mr Burgess has allegedly been banned from Parliament while investigations continue. The Liberal Party has not spoken publicly about the ban or its support of the MP who has held the seat of Hastings since 2006. Meanwhile, Bryony Hutton, who is the new Liberal candidate for the seat, has brushed off media interest in the allegations, saying that her time is being taken up listening to the concerns and priorities of her community.
I'm aware of the current allegations against Neil. I found out at the same time as everybody else through the reports. I don't have any further information, but I'm unaware of specific incidents. But what I'm doing is focusing on my own campaign and making sure that I can deliver for the people of Hastings.
Foreshore campsite bookings on the peninsula are set to change this season with a ballot system to replace the old first-in, best-dressed method of booking sites. The White Cliffs Foreshore Reserve, which is not managed by the council, announced this week that it will run a ballot system that randomly sorts callers into a booking queue in the interest of fairness. The reserve runs for 6 kilometres between White Cliffs and Cameron's Bight on the border of Rye and Blairgowrie. Michelle Cheers of the Rye Community Group Alliance anticipates that some of the long-term campers, many of whom have been coming to the same foreshore campsite for decades, will not be happy with the new system.
I suspect many won't be. Many of the campers certainly won't be, and certainly what we'd call the long-term campers that sort of arrive in November and pull up stakes sort of round about Easter, because I guess many of them have been camping for quite some time. But I suppose what the issue is about is really equity on Crown land, so that everyone actually gets a chance to camp on our beautiful foreshores.
Are you aged between 12 and 24 and living in Frankston? The Frankston City Council Youth Action Plan sets priorities for how they support young people in the community over the next 4 years. The plan identifies the current and future needs of young people within the City of Frankston and plans services and facilities. If you want to help them get the plan right, you can have your say online or at the Youth Services Team Pop-Up. Go to the Council website for details before the 5th of August. There may be a gold rush in Dramana next week when Eileen Thickamatana defends her title at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. Eileen won gold at the Gold Coast 2018 Games in the women's 90-kilo weightlifting event. RPP caught up with her in Dramana this week where she trains with Paul Copper.
Dramana's Eileen Thickamatana means business. The Fiji-born Australian weightlifter is currently ranked number 1 in the world and is working hard to defend her Commonwealth Games gold medal at the upcoming Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. Eileen's coach is the legend Paul Coffer, who burst onto the scene back in 1984 when he coached Dean Lucan to an astonishing Olympic gold medal in Los Angeles.
5 kilos heavier than he's ever lifted
look
before.
At this.
My word, this
Tremendous.
is encouraging.
Now can he jerk it? Yes,
He's
he
got
can.
it.
Tremendous effort.
Or has he? Let's
Yes,
wait on
he's
it.
got it.
Let's wait and see.
There
He's got
it
it
is.
through one
Through
line.
one line.
It's a gold medal to Dean Lucan of Australia.
What a tremendous effort.
And
Have
there's
a look
Paul
at the
Coffer.
coach, Paul Coffer and Ralph Cashman.
Oh,
They're
what a
jubilant.
sensational lift by Dean Lucan of Australia.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. You can't forget those moments. the 84 Olympics, it was something special. Robert Cabas and Dean Lucan. And 40 years later, we might have this girl doing the same thing in Paris. The Commonwealth Games will be a walkover. There's no competition for her.
In the years since, Paul Coffer revolutionised the sport in this country and created a weightlifting machine that evolved into the Oceania Weightlifting Institute, now based on the Mornington Peninsula and right here in Dromana. Paul Coffer says Eileen can handle the pressure of being favourite in Birmingham.
She's used to that. She's been at the top for the last couple of years, so she knows what to expect and how to prepare herself, and also the training regime. She's coping very, very well. She knows that we are getting close to the games now, and training changes, and she changes too. Her mind changes, and she focuses more and more on the actual lifts, the snatch and the clean and jerk.
For Eileen's career, the Commonwealth Games are important, but Paris in 2 years' time is where all roads lead. According to Paul Coffer, Eileen is in a class all of her own.
I think she's possibly the best female weightlifter in the world today. This is the first step towards bigger things with Paris around the corner. That's what we're concentrating for. That's why this gym was built for. I set it up specifically for Paris 24.
And just for good measure, here's Eileen lifting the expected Birmingham Commonwealth Games gold medal weight with 15 kilos added on top, just for good measure. Watch out world, Dromana's Eileen Thickamatala is coming.
And Frankston Arts Centre is hosting a Frank Talk with award-winning author, podcaster and true crime writer Vicky Petratus. Join Frankston City Libraries on Thursday the 4th of August at 7 p.m. for a conversation-style event with Vicky as she celebrates the release of her first work of fiction, The Unbelieved. Vicky has written true crime for over 25 years, including 2 books about Frankston serial killer Paul Denyer. The Unbelieved is Vicky's first crime fiction novel and has already been awarded the inaugural Allen and Unwin Crime Fiction Prize for 2022. You'll have the chance to ask Vicky questions about her research and writing process and get all of your books signed. Robinson's Bookshop is making copies of Vicky's books available to buy on the night. This is a free event, but bookings are essential as numbers are limited. Go to the Frankston Arts Centre website for tickets. After the break, we have Nicola with this week's weather report.
Established in 1988, Progress Signs has been servicing the local community for 30 years. Located on the Mornington Peninsula, they are the #1 destination for all your signage needs, specialising in a variety of signage from vehicles to shop fronts, occasional and corporate events, short-term, long-term and everything in between. If it's signs you need, be it large or small, Progress Signs is the place to call. Available 24/7 at progress-signs.com.au or call the team on 5975 9188. Thinking signs? Think Progress Signs, a station sponsor.
Everyone knows Australia has 4 big banks, but the 5th biggest retail bank is snapping at their heels. It's a bank that's been around for over 160 years, can be found in over 500 locations nationwide, looks after over 1.8 million customers, and is regularly voted one of the most trusted brands out of all the thousands of brands in Australia. Who is this fantastic number 5? Yep, it's Bendigo Bank. The better big bank.
Hi, it's Nicola here with the RPP Weekend Weather Update. It looks like we are past the coldest day of the year. Well, let's hope so anyway. Let's take a deep dive into the week ahead. Well, after a fairly wet day yesterday, today, Sunday the 24th of July, was partially cloudy day with sunny periods. We reached a top of 17 and a low of 8. Monday sees a bit of rain returning. We can expect a top of 15 and a low of 7. Tuesday sees the rain continuing with a top of 10 and a low of 6. Wednesday, the 27th, brings even more rain. We are expecting a 70% chance of rain over the peninsula. We should see a high of 13 and a low of 6. Thursday will be much the same as Wednesday. Expect a high of 12 and a low of 4. Friday sees the rain starting to ease with a top of 12 and a low of 4. And finally, Saturday sees the sun returning with a top of 13 and a low of 8. Well, it may be a bit warmer, but it certainly is still wet. Try to stay dry, have a great week, and I will see you again next week.
And that's all from our team here at RPP News, serving the community with stories that matter to you. Keep watching and do tell your friends. Bringing you the news from coast to coast across Frankston and the Mornington Peninsula, I'm Catie Sharp. See you for the next edition.